The problem is you're dumping I don't even say how much money we dumped in, and you're raising capital. It's like, and again, I got to learn all that, dumping so much money in for years without revenue coming in. And that was brand new to me. I opened a business. I'm getting revenue. I got revenue 3 months before we opened. I was selling memberships.
Wow.
It was crazy. So that helped pay for the build.
Yes.
So you're talking to somebody that has revenue coming in before or during the door opens, not 3 years or whatever later. So yeah, you got to stomach a lot if you're putting a lot of money in and you're not getting money, hitting revenue yet. So I would say that's the hardest part of software.
Now, that's sour you on technology, or you think you would ever get back into it?
No.
Same business, different day.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Same Business, Different Day podcast, season 3. I am your host, Zeke Corley. I want to start off this podcast with the business lesson number 621, the Same Business, Different Day podcast. Decide why you're getting into business. Are you just trying to make money out of your passion, or is your passion just making money? Neither is necessarily wrong, but it's hard to get others to follow and believe in you if they don't understand the why. I'm very excited about today's guest, a woman that finds inspiration in places that most of us don't. If you don't have a full understanding about the benefits of effective networking, this is the episode for you. Because we're going to talk to a woman that truly sees the value in relationships. A woman who turns community into assets. Your favorite entrepreneur's favorite entrepreneur. We want to welcome Christine McDannell to the show.
Thanks, Zeke.
Yes.
What an introduction. I love that quote in the beginning. Yeah.
Yes.
Passion is huge.
Yes.
Like I would do what I do for free. I tell everybody. So passionate.
And you're great at it. So we're going to start off talking about you. We're going to talk about the beginning. We're not going to reveal all the things there's so many things that you're doing right now. We're not going to reveal them all right away. Yeah. Let's start from the beginning. I really kind of wanted to get a better understanding of where you grew up.
Okay. And then I told Zeke when I found out he had a podcast, I'm like, you have a radio voice. I'm so glad you have a podcast.
Thank you.
Yes. So, I grew up an hour north of Los Angeles in Lancaster.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been in San Diego for 20 years.
All right. All right.
Home now. I love it here.
Why?
Oh my God, it was like a pipe dream. And those who know Lancaster will get it. It's not a nice town. It's a high desert. It's hot.
Yeah.
And so, San Diego was like paradise. Like, how would it was my dream to live down here. It didn't even seem possible.
That's funny.
Yeah, the weather, the palm trees, the people, the vibe.
That's right.
Everything.
Oh, it's amazing down here. I moved down here from the Bay Area, right? So we get 4 seasons up there in Northern California, but down here, not so much, right?
And people complain about that. And I'm like, really? If that's the worst thing? And then the housing pricing, but that's it? Those are the only complaints over here?
I get the housing pricing complaint, but, 78 degrees year round, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I agree.
What about early aspirations, other than I wanted to move out of Lancaster?
Business.
Yeah.
My whole...
Early on, huh?
Oh, yeah. My dad was a business owner, so I think seeing him not have a boss, I'm like, well, I don't have a boss either. I don't want to have a boss either.
Yeah.
But I was the girl, I had circus. I would charge admission, and for people to attend my little circus that I'd roll my neighborhood kids in, my friends, and selling candy bars in school, getting in trouble for that, I'm sure, lemonade stands. My whole life, we bought a whole pack of the bubble gum, right? At Costco. My dad's like, okay, it's $12. And I gave him the 12 and I was 11. I took the whole pack, 20 pack home. And then if I charge 50 cents a pack, there's 20 packs. I used a little calculator. I gave my dad $12. What does that leave for me?
Right.
So I was legit calculating profit at I didn't know what the word meant. But.
I love it. I was going to ask you if he was teaching you any business, but
it's funny. And on the drive here, I thought about he was self-employed. So he did HVAC. He's climbing on roofs and he's fixing air conditioners. And so he never did. But I will tell you this, he led by example. Everything I do, I know it was from watching him, not ripping off people, waking up. It didn't matter how late he stayed up at night. He would be up, out the door at 7 a.m. every single day, never sick, never complained, even with some crazy dramas. He just was like, yeah, whatever. Like he didn't
Yes.
care. Nothing shook him.
Yeah.
So that's kind of rubbed off on me. So yeah.
Well, I mean, it almost seems like a natural energy that you've got, though. I mean, you just bubbling like you like we need to make a bigger room in here.
Well, thank you. Thanks. Yeah. No, and that was the thing in hindsight as a little girl. I'm like, Dad, let's get a big billboard. Dad, let's put magnets on your truck so people know your business.
I love
and
it.
the yellow pages. Now I'm aging myself, but Dad, you have a little line. Like, let's get the whole page. And he just like, no. Like, again, I think being self-employed, nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Less headaches.
Sure.
Versus being an entrepreneur, building a big company, two different things. So he just wanted to be low key and he was fine. And
Sure.
he didn't want the liabilities. So he always said he didn't want to get, they see I have a business owner, they're going to hit my car and sue me. And it was kind of weird. It was like, because he wasn't, other than that, he didn't care about risk. But
That's funny. As an insurance broker, I've heard that story many times.
Really?
Oh, yeah. People just completely nervous about that. That's why we wind up having to sell them umbrella policies. It's like we just need to put more liability coverage out there just in case people know who I am and just make up a lawsuit against me. I don't want them to take my assets. That really happens all the time. Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's great. What about first jobs? Like, let's say legitimate job.
yeah, I did go into corporate. So I got my real estate license right out of high school.
That was your first job?
My
Really?
first job, I was 17 in high school doing property management.
Wow.
So yeah, I was making great money. So I graduated at 17. I was making 40. Then I led right into full-time property management, 40K a year. So I was like, Dad, save your, I never forget. Dad, save your money. I'm not going to college. Save your money. I'm going to be successful without college. Those
Yes.
were my exact words.
Okay.
Luckily it worked out.
Yeah.
But why would I spend 30, 40K a year, when you're already making that? And so I got my real estate license like the day I turned 18, stayed in property management 6 years. That moved me to San Diego, Irvine Company, got a job with them,
Okay.
big company,
Yeah.
corporate again. So came down and by age, so I guess 22, 23, I was like, I don't like corporate. Like, cause it's like, I'd find an efficient way to do things. Hey, like, let's change this up, make it more efficient. Oh no, corporate says we can't do that. No, corporate says this, corporate
Right.
says, it drove
Yes.
me bananas.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So fun. I'm like, I don't think I'm cut out for corporate.
Imagine being in like more of the finance industries or those guys. I mean, you're talking about getting locked down. Like they back you into a corner. There's nothing you can do. You couldn't even advertise for your own business.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I do understand what you mean, though. Working at those corporate jobs, there are people you have to go through before you do many things.
Yeah,
right?
and I kept jumping to companies like very frequently
Yeah.
during those 6 years. And like I just not for any like, I don't like it. I just was bored. So that was another thing. But yeah, once I was 23, I started my first company, Cleanology, here in San Diego. So
Okay.
we did residential house cleaning strictly downtown. Back in 2003, when all those high rises were being built, Petco Park was opening, and I'm like sitting downtown, like who's gonna clean all these condos? And yeah, so I grew real fast. We would drop cleaning teams off in one tower. They would like knock off, clean like 7 units, no drive time, super efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. I was young. So
I like the term you use, efficient.
Yeah.
I think that's important, right? Just in any business, right? Because there can be so much overhead in wasting time.
Yeah.
Right. Or like you even said, the drive time. If you're just dropping them off and they can turn that around, and I mean, you're making money faster than you needed to, right? Or faster than people expected you to, right? For that level, for that type of business.
No, and I'm so glad you said that because I want business owners to hear this, or potential business owners.
Yes.
You can replace pretty much everything, right? You can replace money.
Right.
It's time you can't replace
That's
it.
right.
So it is minute by minute. Like, how do we shave time all the time?
Well, you did that with your education too. I like that part too. I'm glad you said that because so many people, they find that to be a stigma, right? Oh, well, I didn't go to college. Oh, I don't want to talk about the fact that no, you jumped in, you learned, you definitely got educated, but you got educated in the world of business, right? You jumped right in and you're like, let's start now. If I start this lesson now, then by the time those folks graduate from college, I will have already been, heads and shoulders above where they are, right? Yeah. So I think that's an important education or important lesson that you're giving to the audience as well.
And that this day and age, it's YouTube, it's podcasts.
Sure.
Like, even better now, you can YouTube, like, how do I do this? How do I learn that? Harvard has a lot of their stuff on YouTube now. Case studies, you can look up a Starbucks case study. Like, why pay to go to Harvard, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah, I love it. You also have a large sense of community, though, it seems, just from reading about you. I mean, I've known you for years, but I'm not necessarily just telling everybody about that. From what I read, there are so many folks out there that are just talking about, you know, who you are in community, nonprofit organizations, and as well as, what did somebody say, specifically a serial entrepreneur, right? I really like that quote. But tell us about the community work that you do.
Well, the co-living was kind of, to me, that's the number one sense of community. I've been co-living for years. So I live alongside of 5 other CEOs. So each housemate of mine owns their own large company. We all live in a big house in Mission Hills, and we're spoiled though. So we have a chef that cooks healthy meals for us every day, and we host events. We have our laundry done, we have cleaning, we have everything, like, because again, time, right? Yeah. So we were like, how do we outsource? So kind of based off my favorite book, the 4-Hour Work Week, Timothy Ferriss, number one, and I read a ton. You know, how do you outsource as much as you can out of your life? So then that frees up time, not even just for business, but even personal, fun. And so that's what we've built. And I've lived in that house, you know, like 5 years ago. And then I moved away, moved to West LA for a bit, moved to Europe. And then I moved back in 2 years ago. Yeah. So they're like brothers to me. Love again, it's community. We've got each other's backs. It's not like-minded, you know, people. On the flip side, community and the organizations I build. You know, we built an incredible team at Eco Chateau, the wellness spa I own, built and sold. So 2012, 2017, 37 women. I mean, a lot of them are friends to this day. It was this incredible, no drama, because everybody's like, oh my God, 37 women. No, like we had each other's backs. Everybody was not even just A players; they were like A+ players.
Love
like, woof, driven, hardworking. It was fun.
I love it. A special shout out to the producers of this podcast. A Different Day Radio wants to produce your business's podcast as well. Why should your business have a podcast? Expand your marketing reach to people on the go. Have a chance to deliver something new to your current followers. Convey your business's message with advice, industry-related topics, education, answering listener questions, or testimonials. Podcast listenership is at an all-time high and growing daily. Even as a local business, you now have access to your target audience with the click of a button. Contact them at adifferentdayradio@gmail.com. A Different Day Radio. Don't just talk, be heard.
North County Daily Star is the leading source for news and community information along the 78 corridor. It's free to subscribe and it is updated daily. Look for us on your mobile device or computer at ncdailystar.com.
The Film Hub is the future of co-working right in downtown Vista. Get energized to go to a safe work environment that is clean and sanitized. Create video content, live stream events, and all of your marketing material in our audio and video facility. The Film Hub. Do your best work here.
Let's get into that. We're going to get into the reveal. This is the author of the Co-Living Code, host of the Co-Living Code podcast, co-founder and CEO of Kindred, that's KNDRD, and the owner of Martine's Skincare, and as adventurous as she is innovative. Let's not forget about the fact that she also races motorcycles. A woman that knows how to find a happy balance of business and pleasure, just what you were saying. Finding that balance in life. Again, we welcome Christine to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely. So I enjoyed your podcast. I listened to the podcast, The Co-Living Code. Very cool. You have great guests on. Give us a little idea, but just a definition of what co-living is and why you wrote the book that you wrote.
Yeah, I always say it's kind of stands for community living, right? So like I said, like-minded people are lonely these days, during COVID. I mean, every one of my friends that lived in a gorgeous studio, 1-bedroom, San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles, or, New York. I mean, it was scary. They were lonely. They didn't have that support during the year.
Right.
So again, and we stress test ours. So again, you got 6 CEOs that had separate offices. COVID hits. We all got to move in. So you got 24/7, 6 CEOs working, living together. And we were having so much fun. We called it summer camp. Like in the when COVID started, which is winter, spring, summer, the whole year. And we stress tested by taking a big RV. We'd never been in an RV in our lives.
Okay.
None of us. So we're like, let's do an RV up the coast and go to San Francisco. And we still, no fights. Not a single argument.
Love it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think at this state, millennials and the age range right now, it's like a 25 to almost 40-year-olds that are doing this type of living, right? Living in community and sharing resources, especially in the big cities. It's expensive.
Yeah. And I mean, and so they're kind of being used as also creative spaces as well, right? Where they're just bouncing ideas off of each other at times too, right? It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like co-working on steroids.
Oh, without a doubt. I always compare it to co-working. So we have a mastermind every single Monday from 7 to 9 p.m.
What's a mastermind?
Mastermind is just, again, we get together and it's business owners helping, you got a hot topic, you bring it to the table and you've got all these different perspectives helping you out, right? So Think and Grow Rich is a book that talks about kind of the first mastermind. I think Henry Ford was in there and Firestone was in there. And, it goes way back. It's just bringing brilliant minds together. So we do that. We talk about house things. That's another important, people that listening with regular roommates or co-living, don't let stuff festers because nobody talks about, the dish, nobody's bringing it up. But when you have a safe space every Monday night, it's like, okay, I'm just going to bring that up on Monday before it gets all a month worth of animosity. Because there's dirty dishes in the sink.
Well, people got to be good communicators too, right?
Yeah.
For things not to just turn into something else.
No, you're right.
That's great. But then they're also used for other reasons too, right? Other spaces. I mean, I think one episode on your show, they were talking about rehabilitation.
The recent one?
Yeah.
I know we've had a couple of those in Los Angeles. Yeah, which is really cool. There's one, we aired the episode on Christmas 2 years in a row. It's the first episode we replayed because it was so good.
Okay.
Heidi with Haven in Los Angeles, where her and her husband are buying the properties, housing homeless. They have amazing metrics on the success rates.
Wow.
Quick story, and again, you guys can check it on YouTube or the podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud. But they're taking somebody off the street and he had to sleep on the floor for a month. It gives me chills for a month because he was so used to not being in a bed. Before he could sleep in the bed in the unit.
Yeah.
But you got community, it's lonely being homeless. Now you're putting, again, like-minded people that are going through the same challenges and struggles.
Let's talk about some more of the other enterprises that you've run. You mentioned Spa Eco Chateau. That was good. That was when I first met you, actually.
Yeah.
When we were working on that together, ensuring that one for you. And you're also doing it again, Martine Skincare. You're back in the business. Is that just a passion of yours, or?
Well, the in-between company within the 3 years between the two was tech, which is the Kindred, which is the hardest thing in the world. And when that's what I wanted.
I wanted to ask you about that. Yeah, integrating an app and all of that. Why was that so hard?
Yeah, so a couple of things. So to me, again, Eco was my 8th company. I'm not even counting anymore, but I was a lot of years in, had success, had a great time, but I just love challenge. So I'm like, what would be the biggest challenge? And maybe I'll go out with this last company and be done. Okay, a global software company. I don't even know how you go bigger than that. Different time zones, different languages. It's crazy. So the platform's global.
Wow.
And so currency exchange and all this crazy stuff. So so started Kindred, and again, solving a pain point of co-living. Co-living didn't have software. So PMS, property management software didn't fit, right? So I'm like, okay, let's build it. 3 years. It took me to Europe in an amazing accelerator program we got into. So I'm very grateful for it. And I'm glad I did it because I'd always regret not doing something. You don't regret really what you do. It's what you don't end up doing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that.
And so, yeah, I mean, the problem is you're dumping and I won't even say how much money we dumped in, and you're raising capital. It's like, and again, I got to learn all that, dumping so much money in for years without revenue coming in. And that was brand new to me. I opened a business. I'm getting revenue. Eco, I got revenue 3 months before we opened. I was selling memberships.
Wow.
It was crazy. So that helped pay for the build.
Yes.
So you're talking to somebody that has revenue coming in before or during the door opens, not 3 years or whatever later. So yeah, you got to stomach a lot if you're putting a lot of money in and you're not getting money, hitting revenue yet. So I would say that's the hardest part of software.
Now, that's sour you on technology, or you think you would ever get back into it?
No, I wouldn't. So we're kind of like, my team's running it now. We're looking to somebody to sell it right now. So we're working on that. Somebody, real estate developer, somebody in co-living already. So we're kind of sourcing the deal out right now.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I gave myself till the end of 2020 and I wasn't going to raise anymore. We raised a big, like another round right in the middle of COVID, which is great. But I was like, it's going to run out at the end of the year and this is it.
Yeah.
You got to put a stop. So again, a lot of companies, a lot of success. That would be my first, I would call failure personally. Maybe not. It's learning.
Lesson.
That's
right.
Lesson.
Ready to build exposure for your Vista business? Join the Vista is Open campaign, a free service that promotes Vista's creative and innovative businesses throughout the North County region. Add your company's special events to our calendar viewed by thousands each month. Get listed in our shopping and brewery directories. We'll also share your business story through regional and social media outlets, all at no cost to you. Visit vistaisopen.com to learn more. That's vistaisopen.com.
The Vista Chamber of Commerce is a proud supporter of the Same Business, Different Day podcast. We support our business members with promotion and marketing, business referrals, educational opportunities, workforce development, and advocacy. Check us out online at vistachamber.org.
Yeah.
So the serial entrepreneur, back to that quote, because that's what you're doing. That now we're talking about the M&A, the mergers and acquisitions, the buying and selling of businesses, all of that. I mean, that's major. No wonder you read so much. I mean, because you have to stay up on what's happening right now all the time, right? What does that all entail?
Yeah, so one friend of mine said, "Oh, Christine, you're not a serial entrepreneur, you're a parallel entrepreneur." And I'm like, what does that even mean?
Okay.
And that's when you run more than one simultaneously.
Love it.
So usually a lot of that 17 years, I'd have like 2 ventures running at the same time. One's got to be real stable. One's got to be profitable and stable. Don't do two new ones. That's another lesson, listeners, because I made that mistake before too. So like Cleanology, I picked up acquired 3 other small cleaning companies. With Eco, we swooped up I think 3 other spas. So we rolled them in, and that's the best. If you can get a company that, one was straight up walking. So we jumped in luckily before she fully show right on time. A couple months late because I would have taken her location and then we had built one out from scratch down the street. So we were 3 months off, but everything else. And she joined my team. So grabbing the team, grabbing equipment, the clients. I love doing acquisitions. I love selling. I like them all the same. Buying, acquiring, and selling. So now I'm helping because I've done so much of it myself. And I did my own deal, Eco. Cleanology had a broker. They take 10%. Okay, I was 29 years old. I didn't know what to do. So great. Eco, I reached out to that same broker and another one. And they're like, "Oh, Christine, you'll never get that price. You'll get half that." This is for Eco.
That's what you needed to hear.
2017.
So
that's what
so you want to go do it yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, and I'm such a smart ass. So I listed it high. Multiple on a service business like that would be like a 2 to 3x your net income. And I listed for 4.5. And I love negotiating. That's like my pastime hobby.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, cool. I'll overprice it. We'll negotiate. Got a full price offer within 5 weeks. And I was like, I was happy, but then I was like, oh man, I don't get to negotiate. Long story short, I email both those brokers because I'm a smart ass.
Right.
And I was like,
Look what
hey,
you missed
just
out
FYI
on.
guys, I sold it for this much.
Yeah.
Sold it for this much myself.
Yeah.
No lawyer, nothing. Used the same purchase agreement I used from Cleanology, just changed the terms out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I love doing it. And so friends, just word of mouth. they're like, hey, Christine, can you come in on this deal? Especially in the last year. Hey, we're listing, multi-million-dollar company. Can you come in? Can you do our deck? So pitch deck's real smart on a sale. Nobody does that. They do it when they raise money. Why don't you do that when you sell your company?
Right.
That's what sold mine. I had this like killer vision. People are very visual.
Of course.
So it's like, here's a pitch deck. Here's everything we built in 5 years. So that was a game changer. So now I build those for other people selling. I'll do the negotiation. One of this big deal. I'm writing all the emails to the buyer, but the CEO, it's her, her name on it.
Sure.
I was like, let me write this stuff. Just throw your cut and paste, throw your name on it, change whatever you want to change, but we got to push.
And it makes sense that this last year it's been more active, right? I mean, I guess with the pandemic and all, right? There's been so many folks either buying or selling. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I know we talked right before we hit record. What's crazy is it's such a buyer's market right now for businesses, like pick up deals.
And the seller's market for homes.
No, but it's a seller's market for businesses too, because we're getting really great. I'm helping owners exit their companies for a good amount of money. And I'm like, so it's like a buyer, seller's market for the business. But on the flip, then you can also pick up deals at this time. So it's kind of crazy. You just got to dig for the deals and that,
We were talking about it actually with the Chamber of Commerce. I sit on a board over here at Vista, and then I'm working as a chair member over at San Marcos Chamber. And we were talking about the number of business license applications that are coming in during COVID.
Yeah.
There are so many folks out there actually who are just like, I got an idea. You know what I'm saying? Or like you were even thinking, like, let's get out of the corporate world. Let's figure something out. Now's the time. We're getting pushed in this position. So let's just do something that we never thought we would. You know what I'm saying? And so that just makes so much sense that there are folks out there right now just like, buying buildings or getting ready to start something new.
Was that last year, those numbers, or this year?
Last year.
Wow, that's impressive. I love hearing that.
Yeah. What's up, San Diego? 2021 has been a year of getting back. Getting back to work, back to school, back to life. In juggling everything else, you may have found yourself in a cycle of unhealthy habits. And if so, now's the time to break free from that rut. My friends Adam and Kristen at Crossroads Juice are here to help you live a healthier lifestyle. A local company with one thing in mind: bring organic nutrition to all. They deliver 100% raw, cold-pressed organic juice and other goodies to your San Diego doorstep. While using local produce sourced from organic farmers in Southern California, Crossroads creates powerful and delicious nutrition. You'll feel energized, clear-minded, and lighter on your feet, or in my case, my bike. It's the perfect boost to get me through my day and help me recover from my rides. Not only that, it tastes amazing. And they deliver. I'm currently hooked on the juice called Hotel Del, which has fresh white peaches, lemon, ginger, and mint. If you are ready for a change and want to kickstart a healthier lifestyle or maintain what you've already started in a convenient way, try Crossroads Juice. You can find them online at www.crossroadsjuice.com. CROSSROOTS juice.com. They're hooking you, our listeners, up with a unique promo code, BUSINESS. That's right. This will get you 20% off your first order. Always free delivery in San Diego with orders over $40. So now's the time to get your health back on track with this masterpiece of nature. CrossroadsJuice.com. Use promo code BUSINESS. Crossroads Juice. Do what matters. Be well, my friends. Ignoring squills and warning lights on your car is not a good way to lower the cost of owning it. And going without essential business insurance is not a good way to save money in your business. What we know for sure is doing either will cost you more than you will save in the short and the long run. With YourInsurancePlace.com, you can trust a specialist to help maintain your cars and avoid major expenses. Business owners should look to business insurance specialists when it comes to finding competitively priced, quality insurance coverage for their businesses. At YourInsurancePlace.com, we specialize in workers' compensation, general and professional liability, employment practices and cyber liability, property owner policies, and bonds for most types of businesses. YourInsurancePlace.com knows that we can help. If you're uncovered, need to lower the cost of your current insurance, or need better coverage, we can help. YourInsurancePlace.com has been helping businesses for close to 40 years. If you need a quote on your insurance, call us now at 858-569-8100 or find us at yourinsuranceplace.com. We are business insurance specialists ready to help.
Yeah, and my Martine skincare, and it's so ironic because she was my esthetician for like 7 years, and I was looking on Biz Buy Sell. Again, we were running out of cash on the software, and it was September, and I'm like, I'm gonna be so screwed at the end of this year. Like, what am I gonna do next? Like, I won't have income anymore. I need a cash flowing business. I start looking on Biz Buy Sell. That's how I've been selling my businesses. Anybody listening, put it on there for $250. Don't pay 10% to a broker.
Right.
And again, I'm happy to consult. So usually I tell people, don't do a broker. I'll come in and consult hourly, or I'll take a small percentage, whatever people feel comfortable doing on these deals. But I find her, I read the ad, and usually these ads don't say the name of the business. It's gotta be like confidential. I read it. It's like 5 stars on Yelp, 20 years in business, owner retiring. I'm like, coastal San Diego City. It didn't say PB at all. I text Martine. I'm like, did you list your business for sale? And she's like, Christine, how'd you know? I'm like, dude, I was like, and anyways, long story short, I would just 2 weeks flat bought it. I was like, it was cash flowing.
Wow.
I think she didn't price it like she could have, but again, it was, October 1st, it was COVID. My friends are like, Christine, what the heck? Why would you buy a spa during like lockdown? I'm like, because eventually people are going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
You gotta
Not just that. Eventually people are going to come out and I got to get these beards waxed off.
I know. Yeah, right. Exactly. And then a second spa came up December 1st. The owner was just walking December 1st, and California got shut down December 4th, which I knew was going to happen. It didn't matter. So literally handed me the whole business. Like, here you go for free. I was like, whoa. So then I sat on that one for about 5 months, had mine running. And then, and just sold it recently myself. So I held for 5. Again, my friends are like, why are you taking a second spa? That's stupid.
I love it.
Yeah, and then and you've been cool enough. I connected you with the new owner.
Oh, yeah, I'm insuring that one too.
I'm so excited. I know. You got Eco. I love referring you out.
I appreciate you.
I love it. You're amazing. You saved our... I'm not gonna cuss, but the A word. You saved our A with Eco, and you know that. We, for listeners, don't ever let your insurance policy lapse. Like, somehow we missed a payment with a big insurance company I won't name, and 1 month went by and they just wouldn't renew. And then any insurance company we called was like, we can't touch this. You had 1 month lapse. Like, we don't want to touch it.
Right.
And like, Zeke saved the day.
Right on. Thanks for saying that. I love that. And it happens all the time. It happens to so many folks, and we're here for you. Now, I think that it's important right now, before I even get to the contact information later, I want people to know what you're saying. You're ready to consult these folks on M&A. You're ready to consult them on picking up a business or trying to find a business to buy. And so they need to reach out to you. And Christine has been gracious enough to give out her personal email. It's Christine McDannell. That's ChristineMcDannell@gmail.com. Okay. We're going to say that again later, but I want to just go ahead and throw that in there right now. You gave me a nice ringing endorsement. It's time to give one to you as well. Right. So for consulting, for sure, obviously Christine knows what she's doing. So now let's get back into the personal side of things, because that's one thing that we talk about when it comes to this podcast is the balance of business and pleasure. And you clearly do it so well. But on top of all of everything that we've been talking about and how much fun that you have doing your business, motorcycles?
I know, and I've taken a year off. Now you make me want to get back on one. Yeah, I've taken a year off.
It's online, Christine. I mean, you've told me about it before. The person who referred you to me told me about it before, that, she rides motorcycle. Listen, but online, it's like motorcycle racer. What? So
I've been riding, I've been riding probably for like 17, 18 years total. Mm-hmm. And then I started hitting up the track like in the last 4 years and got really into track versus canyon. Canyon's dangerous,
Yeah. That's what I always say. I'm a road cyclist, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's dangerous too, because
it's dangerous, but I always say the mountain bikers are more dangerous.
Or the motorcycle? Or the mountain bike?
Mountain bikers, right? Yeah. So it's just kind of like what you're saying, the track versus, obviously there's no cars on the track. back to run into you on my bike. But at the same time, those guys up in there, I mean, they're breaking collarbones and everything off these big rocks or flying off cliffs. I can't do any of that. But seriously, tell me about the racing.
Yeah. So maybe 4 years ago, I switched to, I started doing both canyons every weekend. There's a great group of people. We have a blast. Everybody's very careful, very serious. So I loved riding with that crew, meet at a Starbucks, kind of talk, and they do a safety meeting, hey, pass like this, don't do this, no wheelies. We were like, everybody's in full gear. So it was amazing. It was the most beautiful canyons in all of San Diego County, that you don't go out there. It's like a different part of San Diego, Julian and all this stuff, Montezuma, down to Borrego Springs. And so, then go to track. And everybody said, once you start hitting up the track, you're never going to go back to the canyon.
Oh, really?
Because it's way safer and it's fun. So, I would do that.
A lot of ladies?
Not many, but that's okay. I can hang with the guys. I don't mind.
That's clear.
And so Chuckwalla is like my favorite track. I've been to a few others. So just the adrenaline, just that. I tell everybody that was like my form of meditation. I tell everybody that because you're so engaged. So every weekend it just cleared like it was you doing. You're not thinking about anything, no business, nothing. You're shifting, you're leaning, you're 3 feet from the person in front of you, 3 feet from the person behind you. Like, is there a rock on the road that I'm
right? Absolutely. So, I love that. I love it.
It was like my way of meditating.
I love it. I've always told people when I used to try to get people into yoga, and it's just so hard because it's for some people it was just like I never even imagined it. No, I'm not going to go sit in his room with just my underwear on and be real quiet and all of that stuff. And I said, one of the first things that the yoga teacher always tells you is clear your mind. It's the only exercise you're ever going to hear where people say, don't think about anything.
That's easier said than done. No?
Sure, it's not easy, but that is one of the rules, and it makes it so much easier, so much more fun to enjoy the actual workout, right? There's so much other things that you have to concentrate on, or things that can be like rattling around in your brain when you're at the gym or doing whatever, right? Playing basketball, all of these things, but yoga is the one that clears your mind. So you're saying like you get out on the bike and you just gotta like be focused on specifically what you're doing, and that's it. It gets you away from business, away from all the other stuff that's going on. So now back to that though, give me kind of an idea of what balancing business and pleasure looks like to you, or balancing business and fun.
I mean, I am super grateful, and I was just talking to friends of mine the other day. And COVID slowed me down last year. So I've kept this going. I'm usually done. That's why I'm here right now. It's like 1 o'clock. I'm working 7. I used to work 7 to 9 p.m. I mean, I'd work 15-hour days. I'd work 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Just some crazy hours, right?
Yeah.
6 days a week. It was bananas.
Right.
In the tech company and eco for years and years. All my friends say, you work so much that like you don't need to work anymore if you added the hours. So I'm done so I go 7 a.m. I start, I'm early bird, and then I'm usually done by noon.
Love it.
I don't work weekends anymore.
Love it.
So
and you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, and I'm just as productive. It's like, you guys that go on vacation, look how much work you get done those couple days before you leave town. You're the most productive you can be because you're leaving.
Yes.
So if you knew like, okay, I only have 4 or 5 hours, what can I crank out? What can wait till tomorrow? And that's just how I'm structuring my days. And it's fun. So I'm learning Italian now. I have a little tutor. So I like that hobby. And
I love it.
Travel. I just got back from Italy, hence why I need to learn.
Okay.
It's like it would be nice to know Italian.
You're going to go back.
So I was there a couple of weeks ago, but I'm very, very fortunate, to again have this more flexible schedule and have an incredible team. So team is the secret. If you have a badass team, right? You get them freedom, you treat them like adults, you're not breathing down their neck. Like it's great. And you've got that vision and culture. So that's important. So they can reach me anytime. It's not like I'm like, I'm not.
Sure.
So they can reach out anytime. So, but yeah.
I like that. Treat them like adults. Do you train them how to be mini-me's before you start treating them like adults, or?
I hire the mini-me's.
You hire them. You find out that they're mini-me's when you're interviewing.
Again, you guys got my email address. Reach out if you want my hiring tips or like my structure, because that is one thing my friends say, like, damn, you're good at hiring. Not to brag, but it's like a hidden genius of mine is how to hire, what questions to ask, who to look for.
This show is for you to brag. You are amazing, and I'm so glad that you're here. On the way out, let's say one thing that I didn't mention is that you're also a leader. So you're a leader in business and innovation. I see that you get involved with the nonprofit organizations, like I said before, to give back, and just truly a role model for hardworking people everywhere. I love your energy and appreciate our long-standing business relationship. So thank you very much for being here today. I'm so glad that I finally got to see you in person.
Yes, of course, Zeke. No, finally, all these years. It's been like 7-8 years. It's always through phone or email. So
it's great. Tell me real quick, because as I get ready to give out this contact information, there's only one thing that's on social media. You said you got off of social media.
Oh, yeah. He's like, give me your social media. And I'm like, yeah, November 2018. Mm-hmm. And if you go to my Instagram, it's private, but it still says like off Instagram since November 2018. Call or text me anytime. Mm-hmm. It's like if somebody wants to get a hold of me, they've probably got my contacts, so just reach out. Uh-huh. And I was only going to do it for 6 months. And then I just kept it rolling, because it was like, when you notice how much time you're spending on social, what should I post next? What should I write? What? Let me retake the picture 10,000 times. Right. Yeah. Let me scroll and read everybody else's, highlight reel. And when you're looking at it, and when you come off of it feeling worse, than you did before you were on there, demotivated, whatever, like everybody's life's so perfect. Even again, it's the highlight reel. Yeah. So yeah, completely off Facebook. So I don't even have that anymore. And then off Insta, and again, just the time that was being used on it, you don't realize until you're off.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think that's very wise. I think it really is. And, like I said before, I banned social media from my home. I don't have it at all from my home. But in business, I use it only for the podcast, really. Yeah. Pretty much. So now let's reach out to Christine's personal email. I'll say it again and I'll spell it again. Christine McDannell at gmail.com. It's ChristineMcDannell. And on Instagram is Martine Skincare. It's in Pacific Beach. Go visit her. Go see her there. But you can check her out on Instagram at Martine's Skincare with one S, MartineSkincare, or go to the website Martine Skincare with 2 S's, martineskincare.com. Okay.
See, I've got socials from all my businesses because my team runs them.
Right. You're not stopping to post anything, any nice pictures from the track? No, you just enjoy the track and focus on it. Yeah. I love it. Thanks so much again for being here. I really appreciate this. And this was a great conversation. Did you enjoy it?
I did. This was fun.
All right.
Very professional.
Thank you. Same Business, Different Day. Thank you for listening to Same Business, Different Day. We truly appreciate your support. Please like, subscribe, and leave a nice comment on all platforms. It really helps our show. The Same Business, Different Day podcast is produced by A Different Day Radio, StarFox Media, and James Russell.
Same business, different day.